Now then, people, it's Joe or Leeds TV, and it is time for your Wigan post-match review. Just before we get into the video, let me apologise first of all for the delay. I know Conor's working, I've been working, and Oscar is on his way back from the Wigan game. So thanks for being patient, and the videos will be with you very shortly. Before we get in, make sure you smash a like, and if you haven't already, please sponsor me. I'm doing the English free peats for Macmillan Cancer Trust. The link is in the description. Right, guys, so yes, Wigan. Listen, we undid the hoodoo. It was a very similar sort of game, obviously 10 men Wigan, but yeah, we came out the other side and it was a very comfortable victory with some great performances, some great individual performances. Patrick Bamford, 3 in 3 now. You know, you can't go wrong with that, let's be honest. There is some things I want to pick out. And a lot of people might disagree with me, but I just want to say my bit on it. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. But listen, it was a scrappy start, I felt, at the DW. And then after, I think it was, it's Joe Williams, I believe, they've just got him on, got him from Everton this season. Gets himself a yellow on the 9th and then a second yellow on the 21st. I'm not sure if it was an actual straight red for the second challenge. A lot like the Berardi one against Derby. He lunged in on the second challenge. But anyway, he sees red and they're down to 10 men. And you just think at that point, genuinely watching the game, I'm thinking, we've got this in the bag now, you know what I mean? I know it's Leeds United and we know what happened last season at Ellen Road, but I just felt, yeah, we're a lot stronger this season. I believe the bench we have a lot more, and I just felt we would see the game out. I want to shout out Kiko as well. Early doors, he was very commanding. There was a few balls getting peppered into the box, trying to look for the head of Kiefer Moore, and he came out and he won them. And I think overly, you know, he had a decent game today, me Kiko. And the reason I say that is because I do think he gets hammered a lot. And I feel like I want to stick up for him because I don't mind him. I know he's crazy, but listen, I don't mind him. And I thought he was very commanding today. And just like against Nottingham Forest, he had more touches today, more successful passes than the majority of the Wigan side. So that tells you all you need to know. He's basically better than Manuel Neuer. But yeah, listen. Later on into the first half, as I say, after he was sent off, the extra man started to tell. I thought we were pinging lovely balls left, right and centre. I thought Stuart Dallas had an awesome game once again. He was pinging, like I say, he pinged some balls from left to right quite a few times. And I thought he had a fantastic game today, Dallas. And then 34 minutes, it's the goal. We scored the goal, so not long after the sending off, it's Dallas that actually sends the ball across, as I've just name checked him there. I thought he had a fantastic game, and he has done, you know, this season thus far. He plays a lovely ball into the box, and it's Adam Forshaw. And to be fair, Adam Forshaw should score. He keeps missing like small margins now, whiskers away. He said it in pre-season, it's something he wants to add to his game. You know, switching positions between the 8 and 10 with Click, and he is getting a lot more further forward. We've seen that. All he's missing for me from today is a goal, and he probably should score with a header. Anyway, it hits the post and it comes out to Patrick Bamford. Watch that back, and I've just been listening to the Square Ball podcast as well, and you know, I wanted to say a few bits on Bamford, and I was thinking Shada because, you know, everyone's like supporting him and that, which I am doing, but you know, people are quite vitriolic, if that's the right word, probably not, about Patrick Bamford, and he's shutting up all the doubters, etc, etc. So I'm thinking before I do my video, do I say my piece on it? And then I thought, no, listen, I have my opinion, it is what it is. So anyway, watch that first goal back. He nearly misses. I swear to God, I know he's got 2 goals, and listen, for that I'm absolutely buzzing, and I do rate him. One thing I picked out, and I wanted to say this, watching the Take Us Home documentary back, it's mad to believe that his first start for Leeds United didn't come until Borough away last season. That was like February time. It was after Christmas anyway, and that was his first start. So then I think, right, I do need to cut the guy some slack, because ultimately he didn't start until Feb, and this is his first real, you know, full pre-season with us, injury-free, and he's got 3 and 3, so, you know, cut the guy some slack. But yeah, he almost misses that first chance. I swear to God, he's like dawdling on it, and like the lads at the Square Ball said, a little bit further out, and it's probably going wide. And the reason I say that is because, and I'll get onto it, when he scored the second, to make it 2-0, which he basically just ran it into the net, sort of bundled it into the net. And that's all you want from your 9 at end of the day. They're there, they're in the right spaces, he's scored, we've won the game. When he celebrated, he gave it all this. And I felt, when I seen it, and he's doing that to the fans, I think, hang on a minute, mate. You nearly missed the first, and you just basically chased that one into the net. Want no finesse. Do you know what I mean? So don't give it all this, Patrick. He's got my support, don't get me wrong, and I'm absolutely buzzing that he's amongst the goals, 3 and 3, probably top scorer in the league, and he'll probably take us to the Prem. But I just think giving it this, when you've nearly missed your first and basically ran with the ball into the net and bundled it in, don't be giving it all this. People are entitled to their opinion. Yeah, some maybe have been out of order and they're booing at York, etc, etc. Listen, I was at Preston away last season when people were cheering him when he was scoring in the warm-up, and he went on and scored 2 goals in that game, and he gave it that, which I understand, but I was a bit like that today. Hang on a minute, Patrick, calm down a little bit, fella. You almost missed and bundled one into the net. That's just my opinion. People probably won't like it, but I did sit on it and I thought, shall I mention it? No, I'm going to, because at the end of the day, that's what you watch this for my opinion. But yeah, honestly, absolutely buzzing for him, and Leeds have won the game. But yeah, as I say, Forshaw should probably score from the header, comes off the post, and Patrick Bamford puts it in the back of the net, and we're 1-0 up. End of the first half, there was some great build-up play, honestly, at times. Harrison, just before, I think it was the 44th minute, Harrison gets into the box, and I thought he did really well today, take-ons wise, and he gave their right back a torrid time. And he gets into the box, and if you watch it back, there's a pass on, I think it might be to Patrick Bamford, and he could have made it 2 at that point. But he just makes the wrong decision, and unfortunately, you know, we don't score a second in the first half, which totally kills the game for me. And then I think on the 46th minute as well, Pablo has a pretty tame effort. I thought Pablo wasn't really on it today, but listen, it's about time that some of the burden was taken away from him, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's nearly 40-year-old. And, yeah, we do rely on him a little bit too much. So it's nice to see when he's having an off day that others have come up to the fore. Yeah, as I say, I've also put on my notes here, even going into the second half, Kiko made some decent saves. I thought he had a very good game distribution-wise as well. Yeah, and as I say, second half comes around, it's just continuous crosses, decent deliveries as well, not like Alioski away at Salford, not like against Millwall at home that time last season. I remember Harrison and Alioski couldn't pass to each other, we're just peppering them into the box and they were going nowhere. So yeah, it's nice to see some decent deliveries, and I thought Harrison and Dallas did that today, and they were pinging balls left, right and centre. And as I've put on my notes, you know, I thought Harrison was great today. And then, obviously, 63rd minute, not long before we score the second, it looked to me like we should have had a pen. And when the ref blew his whistle, I automatically assumed it was a pen. I thought he pointed straight to the, you know, I thought he pointed straight to the spot. As it was, it wasn't, and it was a corner, but luckily for Leeds United, 64th minute, it's a ball in from Douglas, which is nice to see that he's getting some assists from corners. I remember Stoke at home last season when Cooper scored from a Barry Douglas header, from a Barry Douglas corner, and I said, that's what we want to see, that's what we're going to get from Barry Douglas, and you know, and it started in that vein again. You know, it was a decent ball into the box, and Paddy Bamford just basically bundled it into the net. And as I say, it's 2-0, and it's 3-3 for Patrick Bamford. So yeah, you know, buzzing with that. Great performance, great win, and buzzing for Paddy that he's got 3-3. I did mention about the celebration, but I've touched on that before. 67th minute, Forshaw has another chance. Whiskers away all the time, as I keep saying. You know, and I think just before the chance, if you watch it back, I'm not sure who plays the ball out. It might have been KP, because again, KP was immense. He just bosses it, doesn't he? And then and his delivery of some of the balls is class. I think it was KP that you know, bangs it straight across. And Harrison could trap wind. Honestly, it's such a difficult ball to control, and he's the one who passes it through to Forshaw, and unfortunately Forshaw's just whiskers wide. And then obviously I think we have a free kick around about the 72nd minute, Pablo territory, but it's a decent save by Marshall, and then later on obviously Costa comes on again for Click, and we do see Shackleton come on later on for Forshaw as well. But all round, great performance. You know, and we've won the game 2-0, and you've got to be happy with that. And now it's Wednesday, and I can't wait for this. This one for me is like one of the real acid tests of the season. Regardless of how Brentford have played so far, I just think this is a big game for Leeds United, because they are going to be up there. You could arguably say, looking at the teams we've faced so far, we should be beating them. Obviously, Forest, we were far better, and you know, you've got to say we should be beating them. But Brentford's the one for me. We do owe them, obviously. Last season we weren't great against them, and we've seen in the documentary how it went down. You know, we've Orta basically berating the Watkins dive, and I heard, you know, from Billy B, who's a Brentford podcaster, basically said that he'd spoke to Morpie and the rest of them, and they wanted to beat us when we went to Griffin Park, and they did do that, you know what I mean? So they were well up for that game, and they're going to be well up for it again, and so is Pontus Jansson. So for me, Wednesday's game is absolutely huge, and I'm just buzzing that we got back to winning ways. We're back at the top of the table, 3-3 for Patrick Bamford, and shout-outs, as I say, for Adam Forshaw, Stuart Dallas, Kiko Casilla, and Jack Harrison today for me. And of course, the brace from Patrick Bamford's absolutely mint to see. So yeah, I will leave it there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please do hit a like on the video. Please do sponsor me for the free peaks, and let me know your thoughts on the game. What are your thoughts on the Paddy Bamford situation and the celebration? Am I just being a little bit negative with that? But listen, I am absolutely buzzing for the guy, don't get me wrong, because I want him to fire us to the Prem. But yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much, and let me know what you think, and I will see you Monday for Monday Night Football, and we can discuss more in depth your thoughts on the Wigan game, and obviously looking ahead to Brentford. Thank you very much for tuning in. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.